Nearly episode 232, I think. I don't know. This doesn't have the number on it like the old background did.
You're
I'm sure
supposed
it's
to put
close.
the number in. It says it right there.
Where does... Oh, yeah. Ah.
No. Leave it. If it says insert number, that's funnier.
No, it just has a blank spot. He didn't give me a freaking editable file, did he? Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, it says right here.
No, it doesn't.
Here, need to move PKN to the new overlays. You can put your own text for the episode number in the top left.
Did he give you a Photoshop or a PNG? It's not an editable file, right?
We're hitting the ground running today, boys.
Yeah, that's some bullshit. He put this together in Photoshop and then gave me the output, not the input. That's silliness.
Well, we're all friends here,
Yeah.
so
well,
it's
I
all
said
good.
silliness. I
We'll
didn't go
have
too
I know.
hard.
Well, I
didn't lay in. Dude, UFC
Silly.
event. All three of us saw it.
Yes,
I watched little
actually
pieces
did.
of it.
Oh, you didn't watch it? Did you see?
Yeah,
You probably saw
I
the
watched-
Dillashaw fight though. It was only 30 seconds.
Yeah, I saw the Dillashaw fight. I saw the Page fight, and that was it.
So does that guy get to keep his 125 weight now?
Probably. See, here's the thing. He was there. He's like, I'm fighting for the 125. I'm saving all these jobs. I'm representing the division. I like this division. All these people, their hopes or dreams are riding on me, keeping this alive. And then he does it. He wins. He wins in spectacular fashion. Suddenly, 125 is interesting again. And the first thing he says is, "Hey, let's go fight at 135. Let's ride it again. And I want your belt." And I can see what he's doing. He's going for legacy. He wants to be champ. It's not like he can go to 115. That's not a thing in men's. So I see where he's coming from. And he wants a payday. Another thing he said was, Dana White, I want to get paid, which like I can totally understand. But as a fan, it's not inspiring me, right? As a fan, you want to hear, I want to build my legacy, not my bank account. But I see where he's coming from.
Like, just based on what my friends have told me who are way more into this than me, Dana White kind of wants to get rid of 125, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just kind of a loser of
It was
division.
So for a long time, I was about to say 10 years, but that's probably too long. Forever, the same guy was the champion. 125 had only had one champion, DJ. What the hell's his full name, Kyle?
Demetrius Johnson.
Demetrius Johnson. Thank you.
Oh, Mighty Mouse. Yeah, I know who that is.
Wow. All right. Yeah. So it was Mighty Mouse, Demetrius Johnson, and he was the champ. Well, Demetrius Johnson was a great fighter, but a lousy, lousy promoter. Almost like the anti-promoter. He just doesn't do that. And it got to be that it was never interesting because you knew he was going to win. You didn't know who he was fighting against. Just for whatever reason, people weren't inspired by second and third place at 125 like they are at 155. So it was always DJ fighting some guy you didn't know with no hype or interest. Every time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was never an up-and-comer at 125 who had any personality or was interesting. So Henry Cejudo, he's a little different, right? He comes out to the weigh-ins and he brings a snake, which is an insult they use against TJ Dillashaw. And he tames it and he slams it on the ground. It's a fake snake. And, he's putting on a little theatrics and he's putting some weight on this. Like, this matters whether I win. Everyone was more interested in this 125-pound fight than I think any other I can think of. And another thing DJ did, which makes me almost mad at him, is he turned down the fight against TJ Dillashaw. TJ Dillashaw wanted to come down and fight him. And DJ either priced himself out of the fight, where he said, I want so much money to take this, that the UFC said no. Or he said that he wanted to see his opponent work his way up and prove he could make 125. TJ Dillashaw's never missed weight in his life. He's never missed weight in his life. And that includes now at 125 pounds. So for DJ to be like, I want to see him take a few other fights and earn his way, whatever, dude. You're just throwing up barriers to prevent this fight from happening. What Henry Cejudo said when they told him to fight TJ Dillashaw was yes. I love that. I love that. As a fan, a guy who says, you know what, I'm the baddest motherfucker at this weight. It doesn't matter who you put in the ring with me. I am better than that guy because no one is better.
There's got to be like an inherent bias too of viewers being like, these guys are really small. Like, I have more fun watching the big guys beat the shit out of each other. Like, even though you can be like, what's the old like joke of like the WNBA? Like, you have to look at the fundamentals. Where it's like, yeah, but it's still, you don't get to see LeBron jumping, 30 feet and slamming the ball through the hoop. So, like, I think that is a real thing with this. It's like, okay, we've got the little fighters. Those are the women. But I don't care about a 125-pound guy. He may be skilled till the cows come home, but who cares?
A few years ago, I would have totally agreed with you. I didn't care about anything under 155. And then Conor McGregor came along at 145 and made that the most interesting division, right? And then at 135, you had this like trio of Cody Garbrandt, TJ Dillashaw, and Dominic Cruz, all vying to figure out who was the best. And 135 became super interesting. And then just recently, with a new champ at 125 and TJ Dillashaw dropping it, 125 became interesting. I agree that there is sort of an inherent bias against little guys. Yeah. And if you don't know anything about fighting, you might be tempted to be like, all right. Look, I get that these guys are badasses, but I'm, 255. I could beat that guy. Well, maybe at 255. Probably not still.
They walk around at 250, though. If they're fighting it, yeah.
But see, that guy who doesn't know very much. That guy who doesn't know very much about the sport. That's the guy they're trying to get.
You're right. So there's going to be a class of people. I exaggerated, but let's say I'm an athletic 190. I could beat that guy who fights at 125. But like Kyle's sort of getting, if you fight at 125, you probably walk around at 150 something, and that 150 pound is going to beat your 190 pound ass. I'm just sure of it.
Yeah, I would think so.
There are people who don't.
I wrestled at
agree.
140 in middle school. Like it's just an adult man being 125 is just surprising.
20 pounds of that was cranium. All right.
yeah.
Yeah, but they didn't let me get an exemption for that, and headbutting's not allowed. So
see if there's ever a professional headbutting championship, oh, my man, all my money's on you.
Oh, my wrestling coach knew that because like all my effort was in hockey. Like wrestling was just more like, this is more fun. Like I like staying in shape. This is kind of a fun thing
both
to
winter
do.
Sports. It's weird.
Oh yeah. But I played hockey year round. Like constantly I was in leagues. And so that was like my main focus. And then like the winter league was usually like a school league that I didn't care about as much.
Okay.
And then of course when I'm traveling and having to miss stuff. But my coach knew, he's like, Taylor, you're very strong. You're not very quick. And I was like, okay, well, that sucks. He's like, okay, what you're going to do is you can't strike anybody, but you can take this part of your forearm. And as soon as that whistle goes and the ref says go, I want you to hit that other kid in the collarbone as hard as you can.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, and then what do I do after that? He goes, I don't think you're going to have to plan for after that. And so it was my first wrestling match ever. And this big Asian kid from the other school comes out. And he's like, they kind of played fast and loose with the weight rules. He was my same height and noticeably fatter. So we were not in the same weight class. And I was like getting down ready, and I'm so nervous. And then he blows it. And the first thing I do is just as hard as I can into this kid's collarbone. And the saucers his eyes became, because his coach must not have told him that's legal. All I did was what my coach said, hit him like that.
Oh, no.
Got him on the ground. And it was really quick.
Hang on, you're breaking up. I don't want to. I want this unadulterated.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, am I back?
No.
Am I back now?
You seem to be. Short test, but actually, no, now you seem
Connection's
gone.
being bad.
Yes, your connection is quite
I'm hardwired in. Like, it should be fine. Do I sound better now?
Yeah.
Yeah, right now you do. All right, so you come in. Okay. I didn't know you could do this either. You just elbow slam the guy in the collarbone and neck?
Yes.
His eyes flew out to saucers, and please continue.
And then I did like an ankle pick and like twisted him to like drive him into the ground and really slammed that fat kid hard. And like really quick, the match was over. And like, I like tried to like act super confident about it. Like, yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Yeah, I pinned him like real quick because he was shocked. And I was half expecting the ref to be like, can't do that. Can't do that. But turns out I was okay. So I was up for my next match. And this kid they gave me way too much lenience with this kid. He was a head shorter than me, way fatter, not in shape at all. And I was standing there like talking to the kid, and he's like, yeah, I saw your last match. And I was like, yep. And he's like, I'm afraid of you. And so the next match was the least skilled match. It was like something out of a TV show. My coach told me, Taylor, do the exact same thing. Just hit that kid as hard as you can, right in the collarbone area. But don't use your elbow, don't use your fist. Make sure you're using the flat of your forearm. And so I was like, okay. I was so amped up this time that when he said go, I reared back and just and this kid like literally turned to the side and ran to the end of the wrestling ring area. He ran away, and I had so much momentum that I fell forward. And I grabbed out for like his leg, and he fell forward, and it was just like a really not tactical fight of me trying to crawl on top of him because my one and done chance, my shotgun blast had failed. And so I had to just the kid was so weak and frightened that one wasn't very tough either.
The kid was so weak and frightened.
Oh yeah, I was one of the wrestlers that like the other wrestlers in my class they liked watching the most because they knew I wasn't gonna get fancy. And the first wrestling match against every individual school before they saw my ace in the hole move, it almost always worked. Mm-hmm. It really did. I can't believe more people didn't do that. So that was my wrestling career. I don't remember how to do anything.
Why don't more people just punch people in wrestling? I don't see it coming.
Between the collarbone slam and the oil checking, I was a state champion.
He just brings a gun.
Yeah. Get on your back! Ah, he got me again.
Just punch him. That seems to be the way to wrestle. Okay.
Yeah, that was the secret. So, but then like once I saw friends of mine who continued on with like high school, high level wrestling and like going to state if they were that good, it was like, this would not work against these guys. They would like do some hullabaloo and flip me on my ass. But yeah, wrestling, as far as defending yourself, it seems like that's one of the best things to know. Like in a street fight situation or something. Like
I think the grappling,
or boxing, right?
1v1,
probably wrestling even more than boxing.
1v1, it's considered to be really, really good, especially if you're not on like concrete or asphalt or something like that. If you are on it, then I mean, it's still you're both on it. Ideally, you win that takedown. It just opens more chance, I guess.
Mm. Yeah, I was sitting in. So my dad was telling me, he's like, once you get a house, there's always going to be something. And I was like, yeah, but it can't always be something, right? Like there's sometimes it'll be okay. He's like, I don't know. Like there's always a little thing at least. And so I had gotten home from hanging out, watching the fight actually. And I got back with my girlfriend and we were sitting around watching some TV before bed. It's probably 11:30. And we're just relaxing, but I'm about to fall asleep. And I just hear from my master bathroom, just a suddenly out of nowhere, like a gushing and splashing sound. And I was like, fuck, shit. And so I got up, like I'd been drinking during the fight. And so I'm like drunk. And so I'm walking into my bathroom, open it up. And it's like what you see when plumbing goes wrong in a movie where the faucet had blown off and it was spraying a jettison of water up into my ceiling, up like it like wrecked my light fixture that was above the sink. It was just a fucking shit show. And so I had to run down.
The faucet, not the toilet. It was the bathroom sink.
The faucet. Yeah, the bathroom sink. And it shot up, and I was like, oh, fuck. And so first I put like the little faucet thing back on there, and it's going, towards me because I'm trying to cap it off, but it's just turning into a disc of wetness going everywhere. And I was like, telling my girl, like, go turn off the water. She's like, where's the water? And I'm like, you hold this here. I'll go turn off the water. So she's doing that. It's like feels like a quarter-inch of standing water in my bathroom, and it's a pretty big bathroom at this point. And I run down, turn the water off, make a call to try and get it fixed. They can't do it that night, and because I've been drinking all night, I still have like 5 more peas in me, and so I just had one of my bathrooms just full. The toilet was full of piss for like all night until the next day when they were able to come out and get it fixed for me.
Did you look under the sink for a water shut off?
No, I just ran and turned off all the water.
Oftentimes under the sink, there's 2 dials you could do there.
I was drunk.
Old man knowledge.
And all I was thinking was like, I know where the dial is. And so I ran down there and turned it, and it was like, oh, fuck. Well, that was an expense I didn't want. So, yeah.
Do you have a warranty on the home? Maybe?
Yeah, I do, but they're not going to... I didn't go through the right paperwork or some shit like to put it in, and so they're not going to cover it all.
That's how home warranties work in my experience, too. They're just bullshit. Yeah, we had something wrong with our HVAC. But
I've only owned the house for like a month. And they're like, yeah, well, you can suck my dick, idiot.
Yeah.
That's what they actually said. So
they're like, well, how do we know that this is like a pre-existing problem? And it had to be like the right type of pre-existing problem. Okay, it needs to be somewhere in between. It was built that way, and it didn't just happen. And if it's in there, then but we determine that everything's not in there.
And then we roll a d20 and see how lucky you are. Ooh, your character's very low on luck. Sorry, we're not covering this. So that was a little aggravating. So now I'm going to be devoting a lot of time to YouTube videos, trying to figure out more about just basic home maintenance, so I'm not so retarded.
Plumbing's my least favorite too. I know Kyle likes it more than me. My big thing, I have two things I don't like about plumbing. One, the consequences can be kind of high if you fuck up. Like crown molding, the consequence of fucking up is maybe you have a gap, right? Or you didn't do a 45, you do a butt joint, it doesn't look as good as it could be. When molding, when you mess up, well, you've seen what happened. I'm sorry, with plumbing, you've seen what happens. The other thing is every time I work on plumbing, I'm on my back under a sink and with my body in the cabinet, and the little ridge is digging into my spinal cord, and I'm just this is my least favorite working environment. So
yeah, I like it. I've done a bunch of plumbing, like nothing. I don't know that there is. I was gonna say nothing too complicated, but I've never seen complicated plumbing. I suppose it's all this fucking PVC or CPVC and fucking glue and saw and elbows.
What have you had to fix before?
Lots of PVC pipe, like water lines, 6-inch, 5-inch, half-inch, 1-inch, just all sizes of from big water mains to small water lines running in and out of houses and in and out of buildings.
My stuff's always the closer to the end, like installing a new garbage disposal, a new dishwasher, fixing a broken, or the things I said to turn under the sink. I've had them leak before, so you kind of cut them out and put new ones in.
Yep.
And now I hire someone else.
I've seen this piping at like Lowe's and Home Depot when I'm buying like the stuff that I'm familiar with. That just pops together.
Yes.
And I've been curious about that, but I used it for my washing machine a while back because I felt like it was a good application. It's a really tight area and you can access it if shit goes wrong. But I've never used it on anything bigger than, it's like the size of your pinky, these lines. They're like 1/4-inch lines or something.
Okay. I think they make that people do their whole home with. And I forget the name of it. I have Pyrex in my head, but I know that Pyrex is the glass.
Yeah. Pyrex dishes in the motherfucking kitchen.
Anyway, and I think there's two competitors that for plumbing supremacy. Anyway, apparently it's a legit way to do things. I just haven't owned it.
Yeah, I don't have any.
There are only white pipes in my home, in my plumbing system.
No copper.
So I'll go real quick with my Vermintide thing, and then Kyle will tell us his Rust update, because I'm actually looking forward to that. This game is way deeper than I thought it was. We described it as a hack and slash, and I completely agreed. And there's still an element of that, but oh my God, to be good at this game it's like being good at Call of Duty or something. Like you walk into it and you think it's this complicated, and you go on and there's like dozens of different weapons. They each have different attack patterns, and like one of my favorites is this big long sword, and it's slash, which is good for like crowd control when you've got tons of weak characters, and then an overhead drop would be the third one. And in Call of Duty, when you do the reload cancel, you sort of end the last bit of the animation by sprinting, and you do it so many times you become an expert at it. In Vermintide, people will do that too. They'll like slash, and then rather than go through the less effective crowd control, they like insta block or like dodge or something and then go the other way. There's so much to this game. There's 4 difficulty levels. On the second one, I'm pretty good. Like I might be that guy that carries a team. On the third one, if I'm hot, I'm useful. If I'm not, I'm carried. That's kind of where I am now out of 4. I haven't tried the 4th one because that would just be inconsiderate to show up at my skill level and ask them to try to carry me on the highest difficulty. But yeah, man, I'm into it. It seems like I'm playing the game a lot and I'm watching videos. Like now I understand what good is. And this JSAT is the guy that I've been watching. Him and Milk and Cookies TW. Turns out Milk and Cookies Total War is what that is. And But JSAT in particular is so good. The highest difficulty isn't high enough for him. So he brings these mods that make it 2 or 3 times harder than the highest level of difficulty. And I was looking at it, I'm like, to stay alive, he has to make about 5,000 good decisions for every bad one. And not only is he doing that, but he's directing the rest of his team on what they should be doing at the same time. And it's just, I thought this was a dumb game where you just kind of point towards the bad guys and rapidly click, and it's not. There's to do well is so much more.
Yeah, those Total War games really teach you how to micro, because there is so much shit to be considering and doing. I haven't played the kind you're like the first person kind, but I know Kyle would probably agree.
Mine is like Left 4 Dead, but instead of the melee, instead of Left 4 Dead is like guns with a little melee. This is melee with a little guns. So anyway, I'll stop there. But God, this game is sucking me in, and I had no idea the skill ceiling was as high as it is.
Are you still the same race of character, or have you unlocked like different
so
BCs or whatever they're called?
It takes some grinding to make your character better, and as you do, I'm the same dude, but now I have 3 different like career options. So he has different specialties. Like one's this sort of stealthy hunter that shoots a lot. One's a full suit of armor. He's a tank who I play with the most. And then the original guy who I guess is somewhere in between. I'm still learning. But I play Kruber, if anyone's watching this. Who knows?
So what are these we're looking at here, Kyle? Looks like a couple of large murals.
So we've progressed just far enough in Rust that we don't have to worry about survival or really killing our enemies all the time anymore. So we bought these programs that sort of auto paint murals on the side of your base, and you can upload images and they'll just paint them for you. The in-game painting is very crude. It's like Microsoft Paint. Essentially, you're just like scribbling and stuff with a few letters. And so there's a few images. Like if you look at the top image there, that's clearly Wings in Mexico with his sombrero and a bottle of tequila. That's on the side of the base now.
There's to strike fear into your enemies.
To strike fear into them. And below that is a like 25% completed version of the above linked photograph, which it's the one if you scroll up just a tiny bit of me as Napoleon Bonaparte riding my steed with a Rust modeled AK-47. And if you look on the rock there, it says RSK for life. So that will soon be on the base as well. I'm pretty pumped about that. We've been having a good time. We got a big base established. We built a helicopter base, a furnace base. We built walls around the entire compound, which are not cheap or easy to acquire. And we've been killing everybody near us pretty much. About 2 days ago, there were some guys that were being shitty. For one thing, they're cheating. They're using scripts. They're using recoil scripts, which help you control they don't just help you control the recoil.
How can you know?
He brags about it in his Steam profile, and he lists all of the servers he's been banned from. And he's just you die real fast when you fight him, and so he was being a real bother, and it's not like we were losing our shit to him. It was just that like every time we went out, we had to fight him. And it was going to be this drawn out long battle where we die, come back, he'd die, he'd come back, and we're just constantly clashing against one another. And when it was all over, we just both spent a lot of ammo, and maybe he had one more gun than we had at the end of it. It was like we just wasted our fucking time when we could have been getting stronger. We're just weakening each other. So we stayed up all fucking night making explosive ammunition, and it's 7 or 8 in the morning after he was all tuckered out in real life. We went over to his base and broke into it and took all of his things. And I killed all of them with a jackhammer as they slept. And so the kill feed just pops up with my name, killed this guy with jackhammer. And everybody in the chat is going, yeah, get him! Because everybody knows these guys are assholes and cheaters. And the 20 people who are still in line are all just like, yes, yes. And so when you kill someone like that and you grind their body down with a jackhammer, you get their skull. And if you click the skull, you get to see whose name's on the skull. So I have their skulls under my desk now back at base. And so that's what we've been doing lately. We've been killing people, blowing up bases, painting murals, having a real good old time. I'm sure we're going to do some more of the same tonight. It's going to be fun.
Nice. So explain. So you're so successful now. You guys are doing so well that these murals are these tradesmen doing it, or are you employing slaves?
We don't like the S word, but some of my friends, essentially, it's not like you click a button and this mural gets painted. Your character has to interact with that canvas there, and you have to leave your character interacting with it while a program plays on your desktop for 4 hours. So essentially, whenever they're ready to go to bed, they're like, "All right, I'm setting it up," and you'll just see like the one guy's just standing there. His character's just staring at a blue wall for 3 hours now. He's been staring at a blue wall, and occasionally it'll improve in quality and get a little bit better. I'm hoping the paintings are done by the time I get on in a little bit. They started very early this morning in the AM, and we have a lot of painting ideas. They're mostly vanity projects for me. It's me crossing the Delaware as Washington.
How easy are the paintings to destroy? Like if I just hit it with an RPG, would the painting be gone?
You'd have to get to our base first.
Is it that hard to approach the outside of your base? Like, yeah, I couldn't slip in.
I mean, you would have to make it a real one-man mission to destroy that painting, and you'd die doing it.
Yeah, well, I would accept all those terms going into this mission. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I get that. I'm just wondering, like, I can't.
It's not a punishment to Kyle, though. It's a punishment to the poor sap who has to stand there for 4 more hours.
I mean, have at it. You know, if you want.
But like,
you want to.
So the painting's in the interior or the exterior. Is it really on the outside so strangers can see it?
If they were to climb into our compound with ladders, they would see it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's different than I was thinking. I thought it was on the on the border wall.
No, that's the side of the base. They would have to climb over stone walls with ladders, which are a found and constructed item that's a bit rare, and go through a lot of barbed wire, which is cutting you apart as you go. And then we'd hear all that happening, and we would be shooting at them.
But is there any way for people outside to see the grand tapestries?
Not unless they climb. Well, they're for me.
Yeah.
They're for me.
You really, I wish you could copy and paste them and stick them on the outside. That would be nice.
You would have been ridiculous back in the day. You'd have been like, yeah, as king, I want you to, Michelangelo, I want you to paint this, but not here in this cathedral, just in my room. just do it in my room. No one else is allowed in.
It's for me. I play Left 4 Dead with Colin, and people, I don't know how it happens. Like, we're not playing on modded servers, but guys are dropping X-rated paintings. And Colin, who is 15, finds them very distracting. You know, he just, boobs! Boobs! Dad, there's boobs! This picture has boobs in it. Like, guys, could you not? But, yeah, he's a big fan.
Is it like Gary's Mod? Remember that? Like from way back in the day?
I didn't play it.
Rust is made by the same people.
Yeah.
Oh, like I never played either, but I remember a friend of mine who was really into it, and the only feature he ever showed me of the game was when I went over for a sleepover in middle school or something, and he was like, dude, check this out. He just would walk with his character and just put huge explicit porn images all over servers. He'd be like, isn't this fucking funny, dude? And at the time I'm like, dude, this is hilarious. Can we get in trouble for this? And he's like, yeah, but like, who cares? Like, so he just went around and would
like video game trouble.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, he's like, not for real. Like our teachers and parents don't know we're doing this. Like,
it was like 7 or 8 a.m. this morning, and we've been playing for 15 hours, and so we were all a little tuckered out, and we were raiding some people in a cave and you're only allowed to roam with 4 players. You can have 30 players on your team, but only 4 of you go on missions. And we had 5, and it's not because we needed. It's not like, yeah, come along, man. 5 of us will get the job done. 1 of us could have gotten the job done because they're all asleep, and we're in a cave on our peninsula. The other guy just wanted to watch, and we didn't consider that there were 5 of us. But the admin saw that there were 5 of us, and his solution was to fly in like Jesus Christ himself and start yelling, "Get out of here! Get out of here!" and shoot dummy rockets at the 5th man as the 5th man ran back to base. They're exploding, but they're not hurting him, and he's just launching rockets from the sky down on our guy in the base. Get out of here!
That's a cool admin.
Yeah, that is a good admin. Okay. He did a good job.
Nah, fuck him.
Fuck him for not letting us.
Yeah. The last admin let us cheat pretty explicitly.
Yeah.
No, we weren't cheating. This guy's fine. This guy's
you were so cheating.
We were absolutely not cheating.
It was a 2-man party server, right?
It was a 2-man roaming squad server, yes, and we never roamed with more than 2.
It's against the rules, not against the law.
Yes.
As Cliff would say. So, yeah. Have you heard the bad news about our buddy, friend of the show, Furious Pete?
Did he die?
No, he's not dead, but his testicular cancer came back.
Oh,
I saw.
no.
Yeah, I watched part of his video.
Doesn't he only have one ball left?
Yeah, and like if you watch his video, it's really fucking heartbreaking. Like he's a strong guy to be as composed in this as he is, because he's talking about like, yeah, I don't have kids yet. You know, I wanted kids. I've got some frozen sperm, but that's kind of a crapshoot sometimes. I have to go in XYZ day and have my other testicle removed. And it was just like recently that he had some scan done where like they came back and were like, oh, you're all cancer free. You're good. But apparently, I don't know the ins and outs of oncological shit. And so like he even said, though, he's like, the chance of cancer coming back once you've had cancer once is very high. But the chance of it coming back in your testicle, again, is only like 2%.
Well,
of people who get that,
it would seem.
And so, yeah, he beat the odds in that way. And so I guess the way I infer it is like they checked his body, his whole body for cancer and not his testicles, because it was like 98% of the time it comes back in your body, and it was actually in his other testicle. And
God damn.
Yeah, that's really, he's going to have to, like, he was saying he's going to have to take like testosterone injections or whatever, which, I mean, he's
I now have a
guy.
supplier.
Later tonight, Woody's going to be crouched over the microwave, just like
just teabagging it.
Come on, baby! Big money! Get them both. He gets asshole cancer instead.
He gets asshole cancer.
All right, colostomy bag. Does that come with TRT? No.
I feel like that would be my response in the doctor's office. They're like, "Sir, you have butthole cancer." I'd be like, "Oh wait, what?" Like, no, that's not a thing. But yeah, that really, like, what? It's a really sad, emotional video, because Pete seems like the kindest dude and already put up with so much of this. So,
dude, did you see the shitty robot girl?
The shitty robot girl? I'm not even familiar with that.
Okay, she's a very popular YouTuber, pretty girl, and as you might expect, she makes shitty robots, and it takes a real sense of humor. You know, she's like, I'm going to make a robot that feeds myself soup. And the spoon's just like flicking it at her, you know, like rotate around and splash her with soup and stuff like that. It's always really funny. And to watch, like, sometimes the robots are medium shitty and sometimes they're fully shitty, but she's always surprised to see how they turn out. And it really sort of showcases her ability to laugh at herself and what fun it is. Anyway, she had a brain tumor last year, and it was a rough situation. She gave her brain tumor a name. I think it was Brian. I forget. And so they operated. She had actual brain surgery to fix this. And I think there was
I made a shitty robot to take out my brain tumor.
That would be yeah, that's about how it would go too. Lots of erector set shit involved. Anyway, so she had the brain tumor out, and they thought it was done with. They thought that was going to be the end of it. Thankfully, you know, she managed to do this. There were some risks, but she turned out mostly okay. And now it's happening again, and it's not cancer, but they are solving it with radiation therapy. And she's like, you know, there's some risks again. Like, I might lose my vision. And it's like, oh, you use that, right? Like, all the time. And she admitted to, I think, a little depression, you know? Like it's just been hard. Like, I don't, like, why does this have to be? You know, like, this is like, damn it. I thought I had finished with this, and now it's back. And
she probably molested a bunch of kids. We don't even know about it. She probably deserves it.
Women don't molest kids. They reward them, right? When it's women, it's a good thing. It's positive. We encourage that behavior, right?
She probably is like a race murderer or something. Like she goes out hunting down Pakistani men and
she seems
luring
really nice.
them back to her.
It always
home.
makes me feel like such a bitch
with robots.
when I see people who have like terrible cancers and they still manage to have like really good outlooks. Because I just know myself, and I would be catastrophizing everything and be like so sure that I was gonna be dead within like I don't know. I don't think I have the personality to be as positive as these people. So,
Yeah, just kill yourself, right?
well, no, because then you lose. You want to win against the cancer.
You do win though, like right? That's like when some guy's rushing you in Call of Duty
on my terms,
and you just start cooking a grenade, right? You're like, yeah, come on in.
It's just martyrdom.
Yeah, it's martyrdom.
Okay.
Yeah,
Martyrdom.
Martyrdom. Fuck
Do you
this.
remember that?
Yeah, it annoyed me greatly.
Stop running, martyrdom. Stop.
Books can't read.
I mean, they were children.
Did you see Elena breastfeeding her baby on the internet?
Elena?
Elena.
Breastfeeding a
Wait,
baby?
she had her baby?
Either
Let's
that or she
great news.
breastfeeding
You're
somebody else's
You're
baby.
gonna take that as a yes. I a little slower processing that. I watched her just recently.
No,
and
it's just
she
a bit of
hadn't had her
practice.
baby.
It's all.
This is a koala.
When I saw her last, and it really, she must have just had that baby. But no, I hadn't seen that.
Yeah, that's it's not a good picture.
No?
Oh, it's not.
I'm not a fan.
Is it like right after she had the baby and they're in the hospital room or
Got
something?
Got her titty in the baby's mouth. It's not a good look.
Oh, ew! Who would think of that? Who would?
That's
That's
just,
sexualizing children.
she's a pervert. What was I gonna say?
That would be so funny if a movement came about where it's like, we're anti-pedophile. People are like, yeah. It's like, and that's why no more breastfeeding. These women have been lying. They love it. Next time your wife is breastfeeding her child, feel how wet her pussy gets. It's disgusting.
I would love for that to be a popular thing.
Let's make that a movement. We can align it. I don't even know what kind of person would enjoy
Let that child go, you rapist.
Yeah.
He should have signed
Give
for
him to
himself.
me. Yeah.
Elena, though, to me, in my head, is in the top 5% of women who might bounce back from pregnancy and be hot again.
Well, no bouncing back from what we saw.
No bouncing back. What'd you see?
I won't be
Just
too cruel on the internet.
breastfeeding. I mean, what did the...
And you find the picture yourself. I'll let you be the judge.
You be the judge.
You be the judge.
What could she have possibly... How does she breastfeed grosser than other women do?
I've said all I'm going to say.
Oh, so we have to do our own research. Well, fuck it. No, I'm not looking it up.
I've said
Can't
all
make me. Is it on our YouTube channel? Or their YouTube channel?
I doubt it.
Yeah.
I'm asking for the image right now. It's. I'm sure the bots are moving. Let me see if I can.
She has a video called... No, I'm sorry. A channel called Sailing La Vagabond Mom. And there's a higher chance
Hey
it'd
guys,
show up
I'm
on
going to
there.
talk about
Sailing La Vagamom would have been better.
I do like the way... Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's better SEO, but...
No, definitely not, but it's better. It's better sounding. So,
Yeah.
I've been
Not there.
do you know who Chris Chan is?
Jackie Chan's youngest daughter. She's
No.
6 years old and already diving through ladders. Of course I know.
No, I don't know who that is. But Chris Chan, Kyle, do you know this
No.
old internet lore? So this dude, Chris Chan, was he's like old internet. He's like, now he's become trans. He was like this autistic guy, but not like a fun-loving, nice autistic guy as much. Like he was fucking weird.
The violent ones
really
who-
weird.
Yeah. Okay.
And he was obsessed with things like Sonic and Pokemon. And as an adult man, he invented his own character called Sonichu, which is just a mix of those two. And he, that moldable magic shit that 4-year-olds play with to make things,
Okay.
like that Play-Doh thing. He made a Sonichu giant medallion and wore it around with him everywhere. And he was obsessed with Sonic lore to the point that when they changed Sonic's arm color in one of the video games, he went to his own local GameStop and started coloring in all the arms on the actual game cases, the correct one. Because in his head, he's like, this is not what Sonic looks like. Sonic looks like this. And this guy is so documented. So documented. There's 6-part, 5 hours of video series, tracking the way that he gets kicked out of so many GameStops and tries to hook up with like underage people online, and like does all like ends up getting his own like parents' house just taken away by the state because he was like apparently like there are so many videos on this guy's life. Because apparently he like made videos showing the inside of their house, and it was like a hoarder, disgusting, not safe house, and someone reported him, and it got condemned.
What?
And so it resulted in his family going homeless from it. And I still don't know. He's probably like a little older than you at this point.
Oh fuck, he needs to be homeless. Oh, he is. But
like
homeless.
he is.
Mission accomplished, Kyle.
But like there is so much shit on this guy. I'm barely scratching the surface, and I'm like, how can this be real?
Mr. Medicare needs to work on this guy.
I had that same thought. Yeah,
I've heard him mention Chris Chan before on like a stream, but I didn't know who I didn't register at the time until something more recently. I saw
this guy has YouTube videos I could watch of him like coloring in Sonic at GameStop and shit.
Let me see what it is. Chris Chan, A Comprehensive History.
Oh, well, I'll be watching that later.
There are 13 parts, and they're each 30 to 40 minutes. And so it's been taking me a while to get through them. But the detail in these are like real documentary level because of how much of his life is documented online. So I don't know. It's just... And then there are some parts of it that like they do the documentary thing where they make you feel really sad for him. Because it's like, oh, he really is just kind of a lonely autistic guy who wanted some kind of community or whatever. And then he'll do something else. And you're like, oh, you piece of shit. Like trying to like flirt with a 12-year-old or whatever. So anyway, that's a nice watching suggestion for you.
Yeah, I'm going to have to check that out. I like that sort of thing. Is he weird? Like, is he an odd looking guy too?
Oh, yeah. Oh,
great.
he's an odd looking guy. Let's see what Chris Chan is up to now.
Like is he purposefully sort of like playing it up, you think, to be like relevant?
No.
I like that. I like that then. Yeah. All right. So we get to see him sort of fumble through life as a depraved individual.
Yep. Yeah, his Twitter handle is Sonny Chu.
Oh. You think he's like a furry, or is he into anything like that? Like, is that why he's so offended about Sonic? Dude,
that might be in the next episode. For all I know.
Does he want to fuck Tails or something? Like,
I'm sure he might. Here, oh yeah, this is something that made fun of him. He's like, anyone living locally to me in Virginia or visiting in Charlottesville, I'll give y'all BJs for money too. Serious. Because he's gay now, I guess.
Oh.
Or not gay. He's a straight trans woman.
He's gay for pay, I was about to say, but now I'm processing that he's a straight trans woman. So he's just a whore.
I think what you're saying, Taylor, is he's delusional. All right, I'm following now.
This guy's obsession with a mix of Pikachu and Sonic does not at all reek of delusion, Kyle.
Dear God.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
It makes me feel bad for him, but then other things you're just like, Jesus Christ, like how did somebody not stop you?
Because apparently his parents are retarded too, right? Like he lived in a hoarder home. Like his
parents seem like real pieces of shit.
The guy was dealt a bad deck of cards twice, or dealt a bad hand twice. My mistake.
Yep.
That's the whole deck. It sounds like. I don't think there's any.
He's
in there. There's a lot of jokers and deuces.
He just has those printed cards you throw away.
He's got like 8 copies of the rules.
Yeah, that's right.
Is this a draw 4? he's fucked. That's not going to go well for him.
Have you been watching politics at all?
No, I've been playing Rust.
No, not really. I've been
probably for
pretty
the best.
busy.
There's I don't know. The shutdown thing lingers on. It's getting to be more serious. There are a lot of families who, a lot of families can survive a paycheck loss, but we're getting into 2 and 3 paychecks they're losing. So it's a bigger deal. It's weird. Maybe I'm an idiot and I don't know any better, but I have to check the news every day to see if the government's open or not, because I really can't tell the difference.
Yeah, it doesn't affect us.
Yeah, it doesn't impact us at all.
So
I'm not in the National Guard. Fuck it.
I get that some of these jobs, like maybe most of the Coast Guard jobs and the FAA, they're working without pay, directing the planes and stuff. Like, you really need that. You notice immediately if they stopped working, the whole nation would shut down.
Didn't Reagan fire all those guys at one point?
No, who did he fire? Was it?
It was the air traffic
pilots?
controllers, I thought.
I thought it was the air traffic
Am I
controllers.
wrong?
Yeah, I think the air traffic controllers went on strike, and he was like, "Well, fuck you. We'll
Where
find
did they
somebody
get
else
more
to
air
look at a
traffic
screen all day."
controllers?
Well, there's a very popular game where people play.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Shit's just like, fire them all, let's go.
Yeah. We're going to get rid of the Marines. We need some Call of Duty players here to replace them. So, yeah, there's a lot of jobs that people, the TSA, that there are people that are just doing without pay. And you notice immediately if they were gone. There's a bunch of other ones. It's like, I can't even tell they're at home. Are we missing anything? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't care.
But there's 2 bills now. What's happening is what the Democrats wanted to happen, where basically they fund the government in one bill and then argue about immigration in a separate bill, so they're not linked. But some people are saying they're not going to pass, and it'll just continue on shutdown.
Yeah, it'll continue on. It sounds like I saw Trump's proposal the other day, where he he basically was wanting to extend the Dreamers' rights or whatever for 3 more years in exchange for opening the government and getting some money for his fence. And the Democrats seem to shoot that down immediately.
The thing is, like, so normally in negotiations, you give up something that hurts in exchange for something that you want, right? The Dreamer thing, both sides are on the same team with, by and large, right? The Republicans are like, yeah, these poor kids brought here when they're 2 years old. The Dreamer's has like an 88% approval rate amongst the citizens. Like, no one's really against the Dreamer thing. So Trump offering that, he really wasn't giving up much. Mm-hmm. And also his 5.7 number didn't go down at all. But it is an offer. But the Democrats, instead of countering, I guess it's like home sales, right? If you come in too low ball, they don't move. They just say, "Oh, fuck off." And
but there's no more homes out there. That's the only thing. There's only one house, and we're homeless. And you should probably counter. Well, it's either this or move to there's the United States house, and there's the Canadian house and the Mexican house. Those are the neighbors. So if you want to be in one of those United States ones, you might want to counter. I don't understand why they don't counter.
Maybe they should. They
could
counter using the same tactic. Like, all right, here's my counter offer.
Puerto Rico,
no border wall,
a lot of storm
amnesty, and something else, and they'll just look as far apart as they ever were. But that would be the equivalent.
A lot of storm damage in the Puerto Ricans. House, it sounds like. To hear them tell the tale, it was just a travesty, and Trump didn't help them, and they just all starved to death a few months ago. Maybe they did. I don't live in Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Maybe they did.
Maybe they did.
I wonder what Puerto Rico's like. Like,
couldn't find it on a map.
You hear about it. They make
Let me give you a map with no numbers and letters on it. You point at Puerto Rico. You point at Cuba first. You know you would.
I probably would get like Cuba and then be like, this? No, I know that's Haiti and that's Dominican Republic. That's like such a weird top-down. Like if you look at the map of Haiti and the Dominican Republic, because they're on the same island.
Yeah.
Like Haiti they were just like, fuck these forests, fuck them. And they just like chopped them all down in like super unsustainable ways. And Dominican Republic is like, well, we should probably keep some, right? Like people are, we don't really make much here. There's a lot of tourism though. And so if you look like at like the, International Space Station zoom of it, there's like a real line on the border where you see like gray and brown and like little shitty forests and then just lush, rich ass Dominican Republic. And it was like, that was a huge error, Haiti.
I guarantee that was like a rich person on the mainland was like, I would buy all of your trees for this box of beads.
Well, they did this, I think, after the French, they booted the French out.
I went to the Dominican Republic. Dude.
I have too. It's
all
nice.
The homes there. I didn't think it was that nice. Maybe we went to different places. There's rebar sticking out of the top of every house. And apparently that's like their plan for the future. Like you build a 1-level house or a 2-level house and have rebar sticking up the top of it, so you can add on. And we're like, what? Like, you're not adding on. Why don't you like cut off the rebar, make your house look a little nicer? It's disgusting. And it's like, yeah, right. Imagine that. The woodworks just gave up over there. They cut off the rebar. They see no future for themselves.
This is the Dominican Republic dream right here. A 2-level concrete hovel.
Yeah. Cinder block.
Look at Pablo. He's got 3 levels. He's the president.
Yeah, cutting off the rebar was just giving up hope. And then, you could never have more cinder blocks.
Neighbor Magumbe gets 6 foot rebar. I get 7 foot rebar. But yeah, like the houses there, I agree with you. They look shitty. I meant like the hiking and the ocean and everything. It was pretty beautiful.
Yes, and there's fewer rules. People think America's the land of the free. But, I mean, try to fly your airplane 6 feet over the cars and suddenly
Somalia is the home of the free.
Exactly. You look at like
brave.
stalactites and stalagmites in the Dominican Republic, and they're like, dude, you should climb that shit. And it's like, well, yeah, this is a good thing to climb. Hugging up the stalactites.
Yeah, they'll be like, everybody can break off a small one to take home. It's like, okay, neat.
You could tell like the weak part was already broken off. By the bottom of it was already 4 inches thick. It wasn't me who did it. It's just these are jungle gym stalactites. They're a little different than we have in Pennsylvania. You're allowed to fuck with them. And just swimming in the caves.
Endangered jungle kangaroos. If anyone would like to kick one.
Dude, there's no rules. Well, there's rules, I'm sure, but like, yeah. And our tour guide was explaining like the career plans of all the prostitutes, how like they seem wonderful, amazing, super supportive wives during the catch phase. So it's like, they meet you and they're everything you ever wanted in a female companion. And then once they marry, they get fat and lazy. And this is like standard operating procedure for the women there, according to my surfing guide.
See, some things are the same no matter where you go in the world.
Never mind.
Yeah, Dominican Republic would be. Oh, what do we have here?
This is a picture that I cannot share.
No, no, you cannot. Now I can see Woody's gears turning.
Well, it's not hairy enough. For one thing.
I prefer a bit of hair on my nips, Makes me sure she's got a lot of testosterone and going to have a strong son. It's the most important thing in life,
Oh, did they have a boy or girl? Do we know?
I don't know, I guessed. The way he's going to that tit, I'm going to say a boy.
Fair enough.
Yeah, what's wrong with this?
He
I know
wrote
what you would
above
say is wrong with it.
what his criticism was.
Oh. All right, I'm not gonna. Yeah. No bully.
Bullying's different than it used to be.
I know. We need to get back to more bullying.
Yeah? The old ride them off the sidewalk with your car bullying.
I think more like beat up the weird kids at school so they know to adapt.
To straighten up.
Yeah. That might be more beneficial.
Stop dressing like Sonic the Hedgehog, you freak. You're going to take a beating.
Actually, that doesn't work. Yeah, because that kid probably got beat up quite a bit, and he didn't end up very well.
Clearly, he didn't get enough beatings if he's running around GameStop's coloring in private property with a fucking magic marker or some shit.
It's so fucking funny to think that like you're gonna change the view of Sonic at one GameStop. Yeah. Also, it's a weird thing to get obsessed with, but that does seem to be a figure that's like, at least based on the cursory knowledge I know from Medicare videos, like Sonic really is around, like in a lot of autistic areas. I wonder what it is. Like that whole universe seems to be very captivating for a lot of people who have that.
I don't know. Seems like
I played the games.
Oh yeah, I played them too. They were fun. That was as far as I got with Sonic. I don't even remember the Dr. Robotnik. Was that the bad guy's name in Sonic?
Yeah, I think
so.
it is Robotnik or something like that. He flew around in that little hovercraft and he'd throw those eggs and shit at you at the end of the each level. He had that orange mustache and that, or was it? It seems like
No. He had a big bald head, right, and like an orange mustache and an orange pointy like devil.
He had little glasses.
Goatee. He had like reflective aviator looking, but they were like Coke bottle glasses.
Yeah. I like Sonic. I played that game a lot on Sega Genesis. Most of the Sonic games.
Did you play Populous? I think that's might be what the game was called.
No, I've never heard of that one. Is that an older game?
It was popular at the same time as Sonic, and I think that is what it's called. I played that instead, and I was good at it. I played it. I got addicted to it. It hurt my grades in college. I would say I was that level of skill. I would belong on Kyle's Populous team.
The first game I ever actually got genuinely pretty good at, to where I beat most people, I think, was COD 4. Like COD 2, I had fun playing it, but I wasn't that. Like I was probably a 1 KD player, just fucking around.
Mm-hmm.
I guess now Age of Empires and Age of Mythology was before that, and I got very good at those games. So, but the first FPS I ever got really good at was COD 4. I think.
I'm playing with a guy right now who's got a very similar background. He's got I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000 hours of Rust. He's got like 2,800 hours of Civ 5. He's got like 2,000 hours of Age of Mythology. Like he's got a very similar pedigree to us, and a ton of COD 4. Like many days of that.
Is this one of the guys in the?
Yeah, just picked up a new guy who knew a lot more about Rust than we did, obviously, and he's assisted us a lot with little minor decisions along the way. There's, do you place the door here? Do you place the door there? Is it worth researching this? Is it worth researching that?
Has anybody been so not helpful that they've had to be excised from the group, where it's like, you're not pulling your weight, you're not gathering enough sulfur, like you're not in Team Kyle?
It wasn't that they weren't gathering enough sulfur or anything like that. There was just some people who weren't taking the game seriously enough, I guess, for anyone's liking. Look, it's not a slave ship. If you want to fuck off and go run around looking for people to kill, that sounds like a lot of fun. I'll come with you. If you just don't want to farm stuff, all right, it could be monotonous. Don't do it. You don't ever have to do it. You help yourself to all the gear, though. But if you're just being silly and just giggling to yourself while you get in people's way and kind of being counterproductive, it's really not about how productive you are. If you start going to the opposite end of, if you start being a hindrance, and you start just kind of getting in people's way and causing problems, there was somebody that we had to kind of just stop playing with, and he had a real hissy fit. But
was it like, his in-game actions or his personality?
It was really his in-game actions and his personality. He does a lot of drugs, and he's often not coherent, and it was hard to, and that's fine if we're playing Call of Duty. You don't care, but it's a very complicated game with a lot of important decisions to be made, and if you click the wrong button over there on your end, you cost everybody a lot of time and effort, and so we just.
Is there any concern about him coming back in the dead of night when he knows you guys won't be raiding and sabotaging and wrecking up the place?
No,
no one doing that.
No, that's he doesn't know the codes to the base or anything like that. He's it's fine. I don't have any I'm not mad at him or anything. It was just wasn't working out, and a lot of people were complaining, and so I just didn't want to play with him anymore very much in that game. I'd happily play Call of Duty with him. I'd happily play just about any game with him. But
Would you want a weak link in Call of Duty though?
Yeah, I won't care.
Yeah, I don't really care about Call of Duty.
It's in Call of Duty, it doesn't matter in Call of Duty to me, because it's a 20-minute life cycle, and we'll just do it again. And maybe next time I'll help. We'll be able to carry you to victory. And he's not that bad at Call of Duty, and it's mostly gunplay and running around and just grabbing shit.
But there can be guys that ruin the spawns. There can be guys that feed the other team, kill feeds.
I don't play Blackout, so it's not a thing.
Okay, well, I'm out of date with Call of Duty.
Yeah, it's fine. I have no problem playing with a weaker player or two in Call of Duty. I don't care if we win every game. We win 4 or 5 a night if we're going hard, but sometimes you just want to go silly anyway and just have a little fun in Call of Duty. But this game doesn't allow for that, at least not on a consistent basis. There's got to be at least some part of the day where everybody's like kind of head down. We're grinding now. We're working toward, we're going to put 5 hours of boring work in right now, and the benefit that we'll reap is that we'll go raid someone tonight with all the ground out materials, and we'll get 30 minutes of absolute crazy, exhilarating action with big explosions and lots of loot. It's a treasure hunt, and so if you don't kind of have that mindset, it's not fun to play. I mean, if you're over there playing there's a guitar in the game, and you can download macros so that you can play the guitar incredibly well. So you can play, and it's fun the first time somebody does it. You're like, because everybody else has tried the guitar, and it's like ding, dong, brong. That's about as good as anybody can do. Like, and then all of a sudden the guy comes over and he's like, Da na 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 na, and you're like, holy shit, is that the Game of Thrones theme? Na 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 na, and we're all blown away, right? What else do you have? And he's playing AC/DC. Then an hour goes by, and you're like, still playing the guitar, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I noticed you only know 3 songs.
I heard the Game of Thrones theme already. Yeah, I got that one down. What else you got? Da, na, 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 na. All right, let's stop. Let's stop. Na 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 na. And all right, anybody brings a guitar back, I'm gonna fucking shoot. No more guitars in the bass. We have banned guitars from the bass. I will not have a guitar in the bass. Tired of it.
I love how you rule with an iron fist. That's cool.
It's not even that. I don't rule with an iron fist. It's a group decision. When I say things like that, everybody's like, yes, please. I'm glad someone said it. No more fucking guitars and no more spinning wheels. There are these spinning wheels you can place on the wall and you like spin them. Mm-hmm. And like people make mini games out of them, but they make this like grinding, rusty noise for like a solid 30 seconds, like row, 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 as they spin. No more spinning wheels allowed either. I just want peace and quiet. Peace and quiet while I make sulfur. Gunpowder. Ammo.
Are you almost to like the board part of the game cycle again?
That doesn't come. That doesn't come. No, I'm going to be playing this game a long, long time. I'm telling you, like this isn't a game that does that. We could be doing something completely different right now. Like right now we're in a desert, focusing on like big picture stuff. We could make an underwater base out in the ocean and be scuba diving men with a boat dock if we wanted to. We could be pirates and do nothing but pirating.
Do that. That's cool.
I'm on the opposite side. I'm looking at this game like, oh my god, the skill cap is so much higher than I thought it was. I don't know if I want to invest that kind of time. If it gets warm out, I'm only playing this shit because the high is 33 today. That changes, and I'm done with computer games.
Yeah, I do not feel the same way. When it gets warm out, we'll turn the air conditioner up and play some more Rust.
Yeah.
As far as like the pirating thing, there's boats in the game. Like there's a little like dinghy type boat, and there's kind of like a Coast Guard like rubbery boat that like 8 people can get in. And now we have the best guns in the game, so we'll be going to do a mission. Like there's a big cargo ship with AI on it that makes a lap around the entire island, and you could board that thing, kill all the AI. And if you hold the boat for 15 minutes from anyone who also tries to take it from you, you get tons of loot. It's the best loot in the game. Well, on our way there, sometimes we'll see other people in boats. And that's some of the most cinematic shit that I've ever seen in a video game. When I'm driving a boat with my 3 or 4 guys in the back, all with AKs, and I'm pulling them up alongside the enemy boat, and they all light it up with AK-47 tracer fire, and you just see the enemies dying, and their boat fucking tips over and crashes, and it's like
nice.
Real life. It's like we're the cartel.
I was picturing like real pirate, like big boats with cannons, and it's you're like Somali pirates.
We're Somali pirates, exactly. No eye
all the way down to the no clothes and the AK.
Yeah, we're absolutely Somali pirates sometimes. Yeah, we're all chewing cot. We're all just fucked up, bloodthirsty, all wired up, feeling no pain, having a good old time. Yeah,
that's Kyle and his boys. Careful, they're always on vodka and Red Bull. It gives them supreme accuracy and dulls the pain.
Yeah, but it'll be a long time before I get bored of this game because 3 days ago we got raided and lost everything. We went from like rifles and having a base to we woke up and you could see sunlight through the roof of the base because they had come and blown everything up and taken everything away from us. And in 2 days' time, 2 hard days' time, like I don't know, 7 of us working continuously, maybe 150 man hours total. We've built a whole new compound that's pretty defensible, and we've all got great guns and great gear sets and all the fuel we could want, and we're very happy with what we've got. And tomorrow we could lose it all, and I won't be bummed. We'll just start out again, and we'll have it all back in another day or two because the grind is fun. You start with naked with that rock, then you get a bow and arrow, then you get a revolver, then you get a shotgun, then you get a semi-automatic rifle, and then you've got an AK and a rocket launcher. And it's the grind is the fun part.
Nice. I'm glad you're having so much fun with it.
Yeah, man, it's good stuff.
Guys, want to call it a show?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
PKN episode 232, I bet. Or maybe not.
Very close to that.